Thank you. 007, everything or nothing. You want it all, you want none of it? Yeah, that's the question. This game is meant to be a movie, starring Pierce Brosnan in his final role as James Bond. It's a continuation of 2002's movie. Look, this game's action-packed, it's got a ton of real actors and their likeness, and overall, it's just a high-budget jamboree. Let's dive on into it. We begin in the Pamir Mountains in Tajikistan, where a stolen Russian suitcase bomb is being sold between two not-so-benevolent organizations, both led by a shifty fellow with a hat and glasses combination.
You have the device? Of course.
And I don't know if it's just the size of his coat, but I got a feeling this guy's got a lot up his sleeve. Anyways, the big trade is presented, but so is an opportunity to stop it.
It's a trap!
Both sides think they were set up, but neither of them were in cahoots. It was me, James Bond, in disguise. And because they're so busy killing each other, I can just slide in and pick them off one by one, like they were lice on the head of a small child. I'm gonna keep this part brief because here's the case. Now that it's in my possession, I gotta make like a chip and get out of here. Unfortunately, this fighter jet's looking to prevent that. And just like that, mission successful. But none of that really mattered, because this is where the real plot begins. When Oxford scientist Dr. Katya Nadanova is kidnapped. She was demonstrating top-secret nano-robot technology that cannot fall into the wrong hands. So we tracked her location to a weapons facility in Egypt, where I'm tasked to collect her and destroy all the nanobot prototypes. Now, I don't know if blowing up the building first was the best decision, because they didn't specify her exact elevation, but this is a game after all, and I gotta rappel down the crumbling foundation, shooting bad guys from the Y-axis, and avoiding fire like I just blew out the candles before bed. Upon reaching ground level, we see Katya Nadanova being forced into a Soviet train. It's time for a train chase. So I hopped on my high-tech motorcycle and took off at top speed. You actually get two vehicle options in this mission. It took me until editing this to realize I didn't notice the invisible SUV in the opening frame. But that means it worked, so I'm not complaining. With many missiles at my disposal, I was able to cut through the sandy terrain untouched, and with no time to spare, catch the train and enter the caboose without any suspicion. But entering from behind was the easy part. I now had to up my game and become a dangerous bacteria, tearing through the train's interior so swiftly, so violently. You could have called me dysentery. And speaking of tearing things apart, it's Jaws, the shark. The big strong guy with a mouthful of metal. I was half dead at this point, with no ammo, so I raised my fists and got all up in his grill like a cheeseburger. Comment down below if you're a shark. Anyways, moving forward, we find and rescue Nadanova. But look out! The general is getting away with the nanorobots. I'm not exactly sure what kind of general he is, but I'm definitely not going to him for a great low rate to save some time.
Do not let that helicopter get away.
And this ride gets wacky and wild very quickly, rummaging through the tombs of Egypt, passing the exact location of where I buried my neighbor. That's when we finally emerge into a beautiful landscape, where the general activates his shielded landing pad from the river. It looks like he wants to play dirty, so I gave him a bath.
Go to the general and save some time!
Oh, James, you saved my life.
After delivering Nadanova to safety, she promises me a date, and I can't wait. But things aren't as they seem.
Good morning, darling. I deduced the mission was successful.
When it's revealed that she's on the side of evil, that two-timer kept one nanobot prototype for the likes of mastermind Nikolai Diavolo.
A KGB agent so ruthless that the KGB itself tried to have him terminated.
It's also Willem Dafoe with a Russian accent.
The world will know and fear the name Nikolai Diavolo.
And now Jaws is back. Oh no. So what's next for old Jimmy? Well, back at MI6 headquarters, we learn that Agent 003 has gone MIA in Peru while investigating guess who? Nikolai Diavolo. The plot is thickening like a simmering sauce. Anyways, enough talk. On to Peru to save 003. Only question is, where the hell is he? I should check his base of operations located in the forest area, where I immediately get a call from his associate, Serena St. Germain, geologist.
Yes? Jack, it's Serena. Meet me. I'm at the Hotel Americano.
Right.
Who tells me to pick her up at the Hotel Americano. But getting to her location is not going to be too easy. There's endless bad guys swarming me like the box of bees I left on my neighbor's porch. But bees make honey, and honey, I'm home.
I'm James Bond.
So that was you on the phone.
Right.
She tells me that 003 was investigating some platinum in an old fortress. Platinum she discovered due to geology. Sounds good to me. Let's go there right now. Let's investigate. This guy was falling before I even shot him. Taking the lift, we arrive into a maze-like mine shaft. I assume there's a lot of efficient production that goes on here, but with me in the way, they're gonna have to add graves to their priority list of things to dig. And from here, the only way is up. And up leads us to the heavily guarded fortress, assumably where 003 is being held captive. So after dropping enemies like the ball on New Year's, or just balls, I blow up the entrance and head inside, where I find 003 in serious trouble. That evil Diavolo is torturing him. And it doesn't help that I alerted him with this terrible decision to take 3 shots at bulletproof glass.
It's bulletproof!
Now 003's bleeding out, and if I don't get to him in time, he'll bleed out. Which sadly is the case. And before he passes, he says, "Stop Diavolo before what? The plot is getting even thicker. I should get out of here as soon as possible." Now what is this? Oh, it's a helicopter.
I think she's fallen for you, James.
And Nadanova throws Serena into a free fall. That is just uncaring. And this is one of the coolest things I've seen in an older game. This is peak action. Reminds me a lot of that time when I pushed my neighbor off a cliff and watched him fall from the top just to make sure he didn't pull any funny business. So because I'm so cool and smooth, I save Serena from fall damage and we get ready for the grand escape.
We've got to get out of here.
How?
We're gonna take this tank, driven by Serena, who, even though has no experience in large war vehicles, navigates the narrow town quite effectively, driving almost perfectly as I cut down enemies like trees during deforestation. We succeed in the escape into Serena's Saint Germain. This is goodbye for now. The hell was that? Enough love talk. Our presence at the airfield has been detected, so we gotta fly out of Peru ASAP. Hopefully I can get there in time and not miss my flight. With enemies on my trail like a footprint, I use my shotgun to make quick work of them and get away just in time.
Congratulations, you saved the girl and destroyed most of my equipment.
Back in MI6, we reunite with the old Aston Martin Vanquish that we'll be using to navigate the busy streets of New Orleans to rendezvous with NSA agent Maya Starling because she has info on Arkady Yayakov, a war criminal linked to Nikolai Diavolo and the nanobots. Him and his base of operations need to be investigated and, more importantly, destroyed. So we cruise our way to the rendezvous point when Maya calls into the payphone saying she couldn't make it.
I'm working undercover singing at a nightclub owned by Arkady Yayakov.
But don't come yet, she says. I need to first break into Yayakov's warehouse using one of his delivery vehicles. Where MI6 tells me to place a tracker on one of the trucks, to help them track it, of course, wherever it goes in the future. Then, from across the pond, we detect a phone call.
See if you can listen in to their conversation.
It's Diavolo.
Yayakov has allowed a double agent to infiltrate the club.
That's Maya Starling. She's in danger. Then Nikolai sends his henchmen off to clear things up, giving me the perfect opportunity to track him down and interrogate him for the club's name. I don't know why Maya couldn't have just told me the name over the phone. She was already there at the time.
Tell me the name of Yayakov's club.
It's the Kiss Kiss Club.
Right.
We learn that it's called the Kiss Kiss Club, a very exclusive club that is invite-only.
You're not on the list.
And since I'm not on the list, I have to find an alternate entrance. And I kinda like this entrance.
We've learned a few new tricks, haven't we?
Right.
Back to business. I'm told Maya's on her last song. To my estimation, that gives me about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3 minutes and 30 seconds too late.
Drop your weapon. You're surrounded.
Because Yayakov is in kidnap mode, and I'm left for the sharks.
Right.
He takes Maya to the cemetery to pass her off to the crypt keeper, Jean Le Rouge.
Give her a death that will make us all applaud.
I'll give her a glorious death, he says. Oh God, he hooked her up to the automated furnace delivery service.
Didn't your mother ever teach you not to play with fire?
Jean Le Rouge won't get away with this. I hope I'm saying his name right. This is a very intimate boss fight. Feels like a real 1v1. And oh boy, was he a tough cookie. So I put him in the microwave for like 15 seconds. After rescuing the dame from imminent danger,
Let's go.
I escort her in a limo set to explode if I drive too slowly. Reminded me of a GTA 5 online mission. Luckily, I avoided that long enough for Maya to defuse it,
The bomb has been defused, 007.
allowing us to safely escape into my secret lair. And they thought I wouldn't notice this frame, but I did. I would have liked to spend a lot more time in this lair, but let's be honest with ourselves. Nikolai Diavolo cannot operate in New Orleans any longer, so Maya and I set out to destroy his compound/warehouse that we were already at previously, by using my RCXD to infiltrate their filtration systems and destroy some very important things. I don't really know what I was destroying, but if it only takes 3 malfunctions to blow up an entire building, my neighbor's got something coming. With my time in the city complete, I drop Maya off at her place and she tells me to come inside.
Come inside.
Hopefully just her apartment. Remember how I put a tracker on one of those delivery trucks? Well, it led us here, an old plantation in the Bayou, where Nikolai and that two-timing two-faced backstabber Katya Nadanova are leaving via helicopter. What the helicopter's going on here?
Time for a house call.
I should investigate the estate.
You've got to be kidding me.
Hey.
Luckily, I'm no stranger to home invasion, so I had no problem climbing into the attic and using lethal force to advance further into other rooms. There was nothing too special about this place until I descended into what looked to be the control room, aka the entrance to Yayakov's lair. Here we learn of Diavolo's master plan.
Our goal is within sight.
He's been using fungal spores from the Louisiana Bayou to alter the genetic makeup of the nanorobots, ultimately creating a metal-eating superweapon. And with everything made of metal, including foundations and dams and bridges, this is much worse than I thought.
They're gonna disintegrate the levees, flood the city.
You've got to stop it, 007.
The room leads into a large manufacturing area, with Yayakov causing mass hysteria.
You're just in time to die.
Kind of. He's gonna stay in this little glass room while I destroy all means of production. And sure, he's got a lot of goons, but I'll pop them like balloons. You really dropped the ball on that one. I disabled the manufacturing and killed him. That'll put a damper on the master plan. And just when I thought I could take a breather, Jaws busts out of the garage in a tanker filled with something dangerous. If it gets into the city, many people will die. They don't specify exactly what's in the tanker, but that doesn't matter. I can't let him get away. So it's time for a wild ride through the swamp. I was going so fast, even Shrek couldn't ask what I was doing there. Just wait till I hit the highway. This bike can hit speeds that a calculator couldn't calculate. And with my flamethrowers down under, Jaws and his tanker will be thrown asunder. I got a sinking feeling I'll be seeing him again. Back in MI6, we're given the complete breakdown of the nanorobots. They were Nadanova's work, upgraded by Yayakov to destroy circuits instead of fixing them.
They'll disintegrate anything made of metal.
And get this, they can't destroy themselves because they're made of platinum. So we're looking at hell on Earth, potentially.
It's time to test Mr. Diavolo's metal.
Maybe I should check on my geologist friend Serena St. Germain in Peru. There is a platinum mine there after all, and she discovered platinum there after all. Now, skipping the small talk, we go right to Diavolo's house. But meeting is only possible if I win one of his races, so it looks like I'll have to replace one of the drivers. A rather simple exchange, as the title suggests. Just can't get caught. Now, if a fish said that, you wouldn't trust him. But me, it's a whole different story.
Bond! Knockout!
Forgive me, but I have a race to win.
Now as a new racer, it's a whole different game. Dirt road racing, 2 very long laps, 8 fun, sexy guys. And with everything on the line, I immediately got out front and never looked back. I was going so fast that even a mouse couldn't catch this cheese.
Nice prize.
but I have a better one.
Although victorious, there's no way Diavolo wouldn't know it was me in the race. He already saw me like 3 times and he hates me.
At least we meet face to face, Mr. Bond.
And I was right. I was like an ant walking into an ant trap. Kill him while I walk away and don't see it. Because why wouldn't he trust his high-ranking guards? Just look at this level of awareness. I then open up a secret door to save Serena, and we get the heck out of there. Not in the invisible car, though. It's been surrounded. We're taking the race car, which doesn't have any armor, so I gotta play it safe if I want to survive the attacks. We get away from the attacks. Upon dropping off Serena to safety, she said she overheard the guards talking about a platinum mine in the north side of town.
Perhaps I should go there and dig up some information.
But it won't be easy. All the main roads are blocked, like my bowels after eating too many sugar-free chocolates. So I had to think like Santa and take to the rooftops. I was jumping over so many alleys, you would have thought I was a bowling ball. And that joke didn't even make sense. And with my enemies left in the dust, I escape into some Aztec architecture that takes me directly to a very secret cave that happens to contain the entrance to the platinum mine. I don't know if I'm pointing at it, but that's the platinum entrance. We enter the mining facility, but we're ambushed right away. That duplicitous two-timer. Now facing imminent death, Diavolo reveals his plan. By using his metal-eating platinum army, he'll first take over Moscow, then the world. Pretty big jump in my opinion. Kill him while I walk away and don't see it, he says, as they both walk away and don't see me use my EMP grenade to free myself, leaving me with one simple objective: initiate self-destruct and escape. Simple enough, let's do that. And right on cue as the place goes down, Serena comes up to save me.
Where are we going?
I think we are going to Moscow. Danger! Diavolo's launched an attack on Moscow with his nano-robots and platinum tanks. The Russian army is toast if I don't intervene right at this moment.
We take over Russia, then we unleash our little nanobots on the world.
So I steal one of his tanks and get down to business. And because I'm driving his vehicle, I get to see firsthand what his nanobots are capable of, melting down buildings like gold at Cash for Gold. So we bulldoze our way through the town until reaching a very familiar location, Red Square, where Diavolo's tanks are moments away from destroying Russia's main wall of defense. If only Tony was here to on one of these tanks.
You cannot caveman grind our tanks.
No, I have a better idea. Why don't I just go underneath and sabotage the whole operation? Like the time I snuck under the surgical table and pinched the doctor's ankles with crab claws. First by neutralizing the bomb, filled with metal melting substance, then heading around the corner and sabotaging their support beams. This is an older architecture, so no platinum defense here. With the support beams gone, all that's left to do is drop Diavolo's tanks into that exact area, by destroying his helicopter and dropping his statue into the ground. The helicopter not being made of platinum was a huge oversight. Mission success. But that was only the appetizer. Diavolo's still out there cooking. MI6 traced his transmission to a location deep underground. Luckily, I know exactly where that is.
I know the location. I'm heading there now.
It's now time to descend dangerously into what looks to be an elevator parking spot harboring a fighter jet that might come in handy later for an escape.
I'm not letting you leave!
So much for what I just said.
Kill him!
Now surrounded with no way to go but down. Disengaging the brake control should shake things up a bit. Oh no, Jaws is back. He's doing his best impression of a Dingo-Dial boss fight. I don't even remember playing that, I just know it. But Jaws is so big and stupid, he couldn't hit me. And when I bamboozled him just enough, I jumped in the broken pilot seat and ejected straight out of there, sending Jaws to his demise like it was the end of Jaws, the movie.
Next time I take the stairs.
I actually did use it to escape. I lied to you. Now that I've escaped, I still have to get out of this shaft and into the Red Underground, or tank storage warehouse, where my only mission is to get the heck out of there. So I'll have to get physical. Now that that's over, it appears we've arrived just in time for the final countdown. Diavolo's nanotech missiles are ready to go.
Start the launch sequence.
Kill him while we ascend up to the ceiling and watch this time. And once again, I beat everyone. Now I can sabotage the missiles to destroy themselves on launch.
Outstanding work, James.
And although I've stopped the missiles...
You haven't stopped me!
Oh no, I gotta stop them.
You don't know who you're dealing with.
I destroy his fighter jet, killing Nadenova in the process. But he ejects just in time to escape death. Where the heck did he go? MI6 says there's someone tapped into their network at the missile launch zone. It must be Diavolo. I don't know how he got there that fast, but I'll have to go faster. Let's just say I'll be Russian. Good, I've made it to the launch zone, the grand finale.
This is where you die.
It's finally time to defeat Diavolo. It's gotta be a wild battle, right? No, probably because I'm playing on easy. But he activated the launch sequence right before falling to his death. So now I must destroy it manually using this conveniently placed turret. We've done it. We've saved the world from nanobot technology.
What happened?
They fell for each other.
And what about us? What was that for?
Call it a hint of bigger things to come.
And that's the video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, why don't you drop a like down below, maybe even a comment. And better yet, check out one of these 2 videos I have right here. And very importantly, a special thanks to my wonderful, amazing patrons that are directly behind me. I have posted a few times on the Patreon. I'm putting full songs and deleted scenes and such that I accumulate over the time. But hey, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.